Welcome to Profile Traders. This is Reza speaking, and you're listening to the market analysis for November the 4th or the 5th, I'm sorry. You all heard that last night we got midterm elections and the results were nothing but a full-blown massacre of the ruling party, which are the Democrats, and a very clear message to Mr. Obama that United States of America is absolutely sick, tired, and fed up with the way this man has been running this zoo. And they are demanding very swift and very fast changes. To deliver those changes, they gave an absolute, complete, total power to the opposite party, which are the Republicans. Now, will such an arrogant man, which is mixed with an extraordinary level of incompetence, get the message, cooperate with the Republicans, and make this country function in a much better way than what we have seen in the last 6 years, where corruption, theft, incompetence, fraud, you name it, has been just standard business. We shall see that. However, if the pro-growth policies that the Republicans are preaching are implemented, I am extraordinarily bullish and positive moving forward. If the situation gets into a corner where we are going to have Obama so bitter and so clueless that he will continue to want to fight and impose his garbage towards and upon us, then it will make the future extremely uncertain and shaky. So now the question is that why didn't market exploded today? The reason is you had a bunch of people that exited out of the market. These are the crooks, these are the criminals, these are the cronies of politicians that now know extremely well that with this change of power, they are going to be severe investigations taking place regarding corruption, theft, manipulation, etc., etc., etc. Therefore, I believe some cashed out, and that cashing out met the inflow of money that came in today because they thought the fact that we are now taking power out of this incompetent man, things are gonna be better. And the two together made the market not really move. However, we close at the very high of the day, which is a positive. Obviously, in order to push forward, we need to see one of these sessions, a big directional push to the upside, indicating that we are now interested to exit all these multiple session consolidation that we have in hand. If by any chance there is a hiccup and market starts to have doubt that things are going to change fast and soon, we may start to pull back, and we may have to consider that already within this 200 points rally, a huge amount of this expectation has already been built into the market. How can we know that now we are going to turn around from up to down? For the starter, we need to break 2008.75. If that level is broken, I will be starting to see my first sign of weakness. Then, much more importantly, we will need to break below 1995. That's the breakdown point. As long as we remain above it, we are going to consolidate from whatever top we will put in to the 95 level, which is an extreme level of support. Once 95 is broken to the downside, then it's a different story. We can easily target 1958 and then 1952 and change, which are our both POCs hanging down there to get traded. So on the upside, let's monitor what we get. We do not want to obviously spend too much time up here and not be able to push up. It's going to bring in sell interest. Any given time that 2008-75 is broken down, it's our first sign of weakness. Then after that, we should be very, very concerned with 1995. That is the line in the sand that must not break in order to contain this small little bullishness that is taking place within the last 3 sessions, where we are closing at the very high of the range every single time. Now, as far as crude is concerned, we are hearing that ISIA is now getting involved in Saudi Arabia, and I believe they blew a couple of oil wells, but that to me is absolutely irrelevant. What we are seeing here is a little bit of an oversold bounce. I don't believe it's going to go too far. I believe that with the pro-oil and energy production of the Republicans and the pipeline and everything else that is going to come, and the fact that you have a bunch of illegal, or what I call blood oil, circulating out there, being sold by the terrorists, being sold by the mullahs, by the Arabs, by the Saudis, by the Russians, by the Iranians, by everybody. Everybody wants to sell their oil cheaper than the market in order to get some cash in hand, because they're all in need of cash. I believe this was an oversold bounce. It may go a little bit further up towards 80, but right around there it is going to become extremely strong sell. I don't believe that for the time being, with what's shaping around, that oil has any attraction to the upside. Therefore, either if we break this morning high and we go to 80, that to me is a sell. If it doesn't want to break today high, when we come tomorrow morning and we see that we have developed and not been able to push above today's high, I believe then tomorrow morning we're going to see a sell-off that should bring us down towards 77.90, or if you want to round it up to 78. So in the overnight, if we get towards 80, should become a good resistance level. If we do not and we are just going to go dead, let's monitor tomorrow morning what we are going to do in relationship to today's high. If we haven't been able to break it by tomorrow morning, I'm expecting a pullback to the downside. First level of support 78.25, second level of support 77.90, and after that you're looking at today's low 77.22-23. Now we got again another collapse and another massacre of gold, because they are thinking that now that Republicans are in charge, the doom and gloom socialist communist attack of this Hossein Barak over the United States is going to tame down. And also the fact is that we may become a little bit more conservative in relationship to the debt, in relationship to money printing, in relationship to everything else that is more towards fiscal responsibility, which is not a friend of gold. Therefore, the diarrhea on the downside continues. We managed again to close at the very bottom of the day. The rejection of this morning came in very much so from 50% of the overnight range, which is critical resistance. So therefore, as long as now we remain below 1150 to 1153, further downside. How much down? I don't know, because every of these now breaks of new lows that we are making will bring in more and more and more pain for those who have been holding on to these leaves thus far. Do I believe is stupid? Do I believe is lunacy? Do I believe that this 2% interest, 2% inflation that is preached by the Fed is all bunch of garbage lies? And do I believe that gold is extraordinarily oversold, considering that the toilet paper from Priceline is at 11.06? By the way, you remember when I told you when Priceline was ridiculously overpriced of gold, it was at 1200, I believe 2-3 days ago. Every time this sucker goes above gold, sell the hell out of it. A piece of crap paper of Priceline with that old drunk gigolo prostituting her daughter all day long on TV to sell a goddamn ticket for an airplane or a hotel. $1,200 a paper. Hello? Which crack are we smoking in here? So it took 100 points haircut. Now it's at 1100 a paper. $40 more than an ounce of gold. And if you ask me what I would like to have in my wallet or my drawer, gold or papers of Priceline, you know already the answer which one I will be definitely taking. So it has been very deflated, it has been extraordinarily punished, it is, in my opinion, lagging behind every bubble asset that we have out there, and its day will come that the turnaround will emerge. But as of right now, it doesn't look like too good to me. It's still very weak. We are still in the process of direction down. We haven't even stabilized yet to call it a bottom forming. Therefore, more pain to come, most likely. Until in the very macroscopic term, we decide to break above 1150. Then we shall see a little bit of maybe bounce on the upside. So, downside, up on a break of today, low, I don't know. On the upside, 1150 to 1153 is the major resistance, and before that 1146 is minor resistance. We sell into strength as it is until we get clear vision or clear visual that things are about to turn around and change. The same exact thing for euro trash. Trash. That's all it is. Trash. Can't move up, can't sustain a single session rally, and for good reason. We have finished 6 years of QE, we have spent trillions of dollars, we haven't achieved anything of what the QE was supposed to achieve. It didn't create jobs, it didn't create unemployment, it only was channeled, trillions of dollars channeled towards 3 sectors: the stock market, the banks, and the pocket of the billionaires. That's the only 3 places the money went to. Now we have ended 6 years of QE, and Mr. Draghi has the bright idea just to start his own. So now we have a QE that has ended here. We have policies that are now all favoring a strong dollar, and him on the other hand is doing everything to destroy euro. So it doesn't look like there is an end to what's going to happen to euro on the downside yet. The bracket is still the same, 1.242, 1.2442 for a breakdown, and 1.2610 for a breakup. As long as we are remaining inside this bracket, buy the bottom of the bracket, sell the top of the bracket, avoid the middle of the bracket until we exit out of this bracket. That's it for today. Again, this is Reza with ProfileTraders.com. If you want to wish market profile trading, give us a shot. Thank you for listening, and talk to you later.